Hi everyone, this is Migs from PH, and today we have a detailed review on the Nike LeBron 8 V2 Low Sprite. Before we get started, if you do like the video, please make sure to leave a thumbs up down below. Then if you have any comments, questions, or any suggestions for future videos, please feel free to leave them in the comment section down below as well. Then I'll also leave a link to the SNBPH Sneaker Hunters Facebook group in the description box, so I do hope that you can join us over there because it is a place where we talk about sneakers and basketball quite a bit, and it's also where I hold my monthly giveaways. Then if you haven't already, please make sure to sub to the channel because it really does help us out quite a lot. I'd also like to give a quick shout out to Platform Manila because I was able to cop a pair of grails from them, and those would be these beautiful black cement Jordan 4s, and I got them at a really good price, especially when you consider that it was barely used when I got them. So once again, just a big shout out to Platform Manila because these are a pair of personals that I really wanted to get. Then moving back to the review, we do have the Sprite LeBron 8 V2s, and I was definitely so happy that I was able to get these on sneakers because I do have an old pair and it's actually here, and as you can see, it is completely, unwearable. I mean, the air unit is destroyed, the outsole is completely off the shoe. The upper is still pretty good, but that's kind of the only thing on the shoe that's still intact. So I was just hoping and praying after the LeBron 7s sort of retroed that they would retro the 8s, especially the 8 low in the Sprite colorway, and I'm just so happy that they brought them back and that I was able to cop them. I actually did try getting these once they released on sneakers, and I actually took an L. I mean, it said, that I didn't get them, and I was super bummed out because I was expecting that I would be able to cop these because I don't really think a lot of people were reselling them, but I guess there still was some demand. And I'm just thankful that, while I was chilling around 6 hours after, I just felt like checking the sneaker site once again, and lo and behold, there was like a size 9 and a size 10, or a 9.5 and a 10. And I just immediately checked it out. I was rushing and everything because I wasn't sure if there was actually a size 10 available. And true enough, I was able to get them, and I was actually able to get the last size 10 on the sneaker site. It is quite funny though, on the sneaker site, they do call these the LeBron 8 Treasure Blue. And that's definitely just Nike trying to make a new name for the shoe because they don't want to pay Sprite any more royalties. But we all know that no one's gonna call these the Treasure Blue 8s, and it'll always be the Sprites. Then in general, the LeBron 8 is actually one of the best LeBrons to play in, at least in my experience. So to see why, let's take a look at the tech specs. So for the traction here on the Sprite colorway, you have an all-solid rubber outsole, but it is divided into two sections because this blue portion has this sort of double-layered herringbone, and it just is a super aggressive herringbone, and I like the fact that it's double-layered because that means it'll last a little longer. Then for the neon green sections of the outsole, you do have these sort of debossed lines, and though there isn't much of a pattern on the neon green sections, it definitely feels super grippy. The traction on the original LeBron 8s was very good, and I definitely think that this retro of the LeBron 8 will do the same because the rubber compound that they used feels very grippy and very tacky, and it also has that exact same traction pattern as the LeBron 8s that released in 2011. This traction is also pretty durable, and the thing I like about the outsole on the LeBron 8s is that it has a few flex grooves, so it's definitely one of the more flexible LeBrons. Then for the cushion, the LeBron 8 makes use of a full-length Air Max unit with a full-length Phylon midsole on top. The star of the cushion is definitely that full-length Air Max because even though you have full-length Phylon, it is pretty thin because that Phylon is actually used more for like lateral containment and support than actual cushion. This full-length Air Max unit on the LeBron 8 actually looks pretty similar to the LeBron 7s. However, this is definitely miles more comfortable than the LeBron 7 because back in 2011, Nike decided to inject the pillars with Phylon instead of the LeBron 7, which had plastic Air Max pillars. That full-length Air Max unit on the LeBron 8s is actually my favorite Air Max unit of all time. And in terms of the cushioning in the LeBron signature line, I actually think that the LeBron 8s are pretty up there. Then moving on to the materials, this shoe was released in 2011. So as usual, you had a lot of fuse and a lot of screen mesh. But in my opinion, even though the LeBron, just like other shoes at the time, used fuse, it was implemented really well on this shoe. I did mention that the Sprite colorway is the LeBron 8 V2, and the difference between the V1 and the V2 LeBron 8s is actually the materials themselves, because with the LeBron 8 V2 you have that flywire and fuse combination on the lateral wings, and you have that screen mesh here on the midfoot and the toe that's backed by some foam. Then the LeBron 8 V1 on the other hand had more premium materials, like the black and red had a little bit of like nubuck or suede. And you also had the South Beach LeBron 8s as well as the Hardwood Classics, which did use more premium materials compared to this fuse. The benefit though of the materials on the V2 is that they are a lot lighter, and they are also definitely more breathable. These fuse uppers also do last pretty long. I mean, I did show you guys my old pair of LeBron 8 Sprites, and even after 10 years, the upper is still intact, even though the rest of the shoe is falling apart. Then for the other materials, you do have a nice and breathable mesh tongue with some fuse and screen mesh on top. You also have a nice and padded neoprene sock liner, and here at the heel tab as well as the eye stay area, you have a little bit of vinyl. Then for the last material that I want to talk about, it's actually the insole, because it is a pretty thick ortholite insole. But the thing that makes it unique in my opinion is the fact that it has a really nice liner and that it's heavily perforated. That heavily perforated insole as well as that liner will definitely help get rid of some moisture. And of course, you also have your screen mesh on the midfoot and the toe, and your mesh tongue for some breathability and airflow. Then for fit and sizing, I did go true to size, and it fits me perfectly well. I did go with my standard size 10, which is my size in my old pair of LeBron 8s. And there really isn't any dead space anywhere on the shoe. I do like that lightly padded screen mesh here on the toe because it just fits nicely around my forefoot. And you also have a nice and padded sock liner, which really gives you some nice heel containment. So for my recommendation on the sizing, if you have a narrow foot or a normal width foot, definitely go true to size. Then if you have a wide foot, since these materials don't really stretch out and are pretty supportive, you should definitely try going up half a size. Then for the aesthetic details on the LeBron 8 Sprite, here on the outsole you have a mix of blue and neon green, with that blue portion being that herringbone that runs all the way through the middle of the shoe, and your neon green going all the way around the blue. Then here at the heel you do have this cutout that is in the shape of an 8, and it exposes that phylon foam. Then lastly, on the outsole you do have this triangular cutout here at the midfoot, where you can see the air unit as well as this blue LeBron Lion logo. Then moving on to the midsole, you do have that full-length Air Max unit, and it's also in that neon green. And above that, you do have this white phylon, which I do really like because I think it provides a lot of balance to the shoe. Then for the upper, it is dominantly this royal blue, or what they're calling treasure blue. So you can pretty much find it all the way around the upper, but you also have these neon green accents. For those neon green accents, you do have it here at the sock liner as well as the back of the tongue. And you also have neon green here on the top eyelets, which have this number 8. You also have neon green here on the Nike swoosh on the heel of the medial side. And then here on the lateral side of the heel, you do have this white oversized Nike swoosh, which does have a neon green outline. Then for the other smaller details on the shoe, you do have LeBron's signature here at the heel. You have LeBron James written here at the bottom of the lacing, with LeBron on the left shoe and James on the right shoe. Then once again, here on the tongue, you do have a LeBron Lion logo. And an interesting detail is that the eyes are actually neon green. Then lastly, for the laces, they do come with blue ones out of the box, but they also come with an extra pair of neon green laces. I really do like those vault laces a lot more, especially on this shoe, because it really does provide a lot more contrast, because you know, the upper is almost entirely blue. So that additional hit of neon green just makes the colorway pop, in my opinion. Then for the overall aesthetics, I do like how the LeBron 8 low looks, and that is saying quite a lot because I haven't really liked a lot of LeBron lows. I think the only LeBron lows that I really liked in terms of how they looked would be the LeBron 8 lows, the LeBron 16, 17, and 18 lows, and that's pretty much it. It has a super unique look in my opinion because the upper is very 2011, but you also have that full-length Air, which does remind you a lot of like the Air Max 97, the Air Max 98. And you also have this really nice Sprite-inspired colorway, which I think is not a common color combination. So I definitely think it's such a unique look, especially in the time we're in right now, because you know, right now it is a lot of Jordan 1s, a lot of Nike Dunks, and a lot of Yeezys. So at least in my opinion, it is kind of refreshing to see a throwback to 2011, and this used to be what was seen as the pinnacle of performance. It is still a really good shoe to play in though, and I really wouldn't mind if I played in these because you know, the cushion is really good, the traction is nice, and the upper, even though it's a lot of fuse, is super supportive and definitely has a lot of nice features to it. But also, if I was to use these just for casual wear, I think they look pretty sick, especially if you throw these on with shorts and some no-show socks. I think that would look really nice. But I also think they look nice with crew socks and joggers. Then for the price, the Nike LeBron 8 Sprite retailed for 9,295 pesos here in the Philippines, or $180 US. Like I said, I did get these on the sneaker site, and they did release here in the Philippines on June 4th, alongside the LeBron 8 Low Miami Nights. Both the LeBron 8 Miami Nights as well as these LeBron 8 Sprites are sold out, but I do hope that Titan releases these LeBron 8s as well as some of the other colorways on their site soon, because as of now Titan hasn't released any LeBron 8s and I'm not sure when they will, but I am pretty sure that eventually they will be selling some colorways. It is pretty interesting that here in the Philippines we got these a little early, because in the US the Miami Nights were actually pushed back to June 21, and these LeBron 8 V2 lows in the Sprite colorway actually don't have a release date as of yet for the US market. If you are in the US and you really like this colorway and you've been waiting on it like I have, just make sure that you're updated with the release news and just check sneakers every so often, because you never know, it might just come out on the same week as the Miami Nights, because as I remember these were slated for June 2021. So there you have it guys, that was my detailed review on the LeBron 8 V2 Low Sprite. Once again, if you haven't already yet, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and click that bell icon for notifications. It would help us out a lot. Here's Sneaks and Ball, PH.